Hi friends, Prepared Suburbanite back with you. And thanks for stopping by to watch. It's a pretty hot and humid day, and we're enjoying the new front porch that we've got. It's still under construction, so we're not 100% there, but we got our rocking chairs in, and it's starting to feel like home again. So but that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I'll give you an update on the final construction phase when we get all the screens in and the stairs are in now and all that. So I'll fill you in all later on the final project when it's done. Recently I was privy to a conversation between some 20-year-olds. I have to assume that they were in their 20s, and I was shocked and surprised by what they said. And let me just give you a quick top-down look at what I heard and observed during this conversation, and I was pretty shocked by it. The conversation kind of went like this: who are you going to vote for in November? And one of the folks, 20-somethings, said, "I'm going to vote for Nikki Haley because neither of the candidates that we've got on the ballot for this coming election is really any good at all. Biden's no good, Trump's no good, so I'm going to cast a ballot for Nikki Haley." And I'm going to say that that was what I did. And the interjection was, "Are you sure you want to do that? Because you're casting a vote for somebody that has absolutely no chance of winning. She's not on any of the ballots or anything, but, well, I'll do a write-in vote and it'll count and all that, but I'll at least can say that I voted." And we're up against a very interesting frame of mind from the younger voters that are out there. So stick around, I'll get into some detail. After watching what happened in Great Britain, in England, with the leftist party taking control of the government, and watching what happened in France, watching the leftists take over the country, I am very concerned about what's going to happen this fall, this November 5th, when we all get to go do our civic duty and cast our ballots for the presidency of the United States. After listening to that and being sort of a participant in that conversation with the two youngsters, 20-somethings, and realizing where they are, I think they spoke volumes. Neither of the candidates in their mind were up to the task of getting the job done. They're all too old for the 20-somethings. And I guess I can sort of agree with that. I think Donald Trump's going to be, 78, and Joe Biden's going to be 81, and maybe 85 or 86 by the time he would actually live through his 4-year term as president. And I'm a little concerned about the thought patterns that are going on as I look at what has already happened in Europe with the proliferation of the left-wing ideology taking control of their governments. And it's been said that we need to be paying attention to what goes on in Europe, because what happens there is going to happen here. Now, that's not always true, but when you get right down to the bottom line and you say, well, what's the impetus behind it? What's the driving force that's causing folks to lean way to the left and elect a government that's going to usurp any freedoms that they have? And what's going on here in the United States, where we've got at least half of the population, the voting population, that is behind the Democrat Party, who is advocating for things that nobody really wants. Electric vehicles comes to mind, open borders comes to mind. And if we're in a situation where the younger folks, those folks that are exercising their God-given rights to vote, are thinking that neither of the candidates that we've got on the ballot this year are worthy of their vote, and they're going to write in a vote for somebody that doesn't have a chance in the dickens to win the seat, then and they feel justified in saying, hey, well, I voted and I did my duty, so that's it for me, and I'm done with the whole thing. I'm very, very concerned after seeing what's been going on in this country. Now, I know that the Republicans are certainly not the solution to all our problems, but as Dan Bongino often says, we can count on the Democrats being the cause of every problem that we've got. And all you've got to do is look at the border, look at the EV mandates, look at their attempts to subvert the Supreme Court, looking at what they're doing with dual systems of justice. So, like, if you're a conservative and you've defied a congressional subpoena, you find yourself doing time in jail, as Mr. Bannon can attest to, as he's serving his 4 months in prison right now. And when you look around and say, well, how many of those folks on the Democrat side or the leftist side, how many of those folks are doing time? You don't find a single one of them that's even being threatened with time. The radicalization and the militarization of our justice system, our Department of Justice, the FBI, and our court system is really, really out of control. And we, as sovereign citizens of this country that believe in the rule of law, that we believe in the Constitution, and that the Constitution is the ultimate ruler, it's the lawgiver for us, that our Bill of Rights is not a set of rights that have been granted by the federal government. Those are rights that our founding fathers understood were God-given. And our ability to speak freely, to carry a weapon, to be tried by a jury of our peers, and all those kinds of things, that's under attack by the Democrat left. And if we don't act this fall by casting our vote for somebody that is really out there to make the right changes, to deport all the criminal aliens that are here, that that wants to make this country great again, I, I'm very concerned that we're up against an uphill battle. So I don't want to hear any news or any stuff about a blue wave that or a red wave or anybody's wave. We have to get out the message. We have to get out the word, and we have to get out the vote. And the message needs to be our liberties and freedoms are sacrosanct, and we are willing to fight and die for them. That we have to get that message out to everybody that we know, our friends, our neighbors, folks that we go to church with. You pick the crew, our families even. And I've found that most of my family is very conservative, but the other side, my wife's side of the family, there is so much leftist liberalism going on there that I feel like I'm in a minority by saying the things that I say. And I don't think that their pressure on us can have an effect on how we act and react to this upcoming election. I think it's time that we look deep down inside, take a look at where we are, be ready for what's coming. And what's coming may be a flag. I don't know what color flag it's going to be, but something's going to happen that's going to change the direction, and we may not have an election this fall. We may end up being out in the wilderness trying to survive on our own. And if you are trying to survive on your own, you need to make sure that you have got everything in your kitchen larders, in your back room storage areas, your water supply, your food supply, your home and self-defense supply. You've got to make sure that all that is topped off and ready to go, because we're up against something that's going to happen that's going to change the course of what's currently going on in our election process right now. We've all seen that the current president has some sort of mental acuity issues going on right now, and they're blaming it on you name it. They're blaming it on everything that they can find, and they're trying to paint that same picture on the Republican candidate, the presumed candidate, which is Donald Trump. They're trying to paint him as being mentally incompetent, that he needs to be taking tests. And I am just, the polarization is really getting terribly dynamic right now. So we have a responsibility, and I'm speaking to you as conservatives, speaking to you as patriots, that we need to make sure that we have got our stuff ready to go for what's coming in the future. This is the Prepared Suburbanite, reminding you to be prepared now and always. And I'll see y'all on the next video.